A country without a voice will always be bullied into silence and be dictated to by superpowers who will also determine the narratives for them. Coming up, the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, has touched down in Washington, D.C. to seek to explaining and defend the country's position and principles while also mending the relationships with President Trump. Now, of course, the question in everyone's mind is how Cyril is going to handle Donald Trump. Consider what Trump did to Zelensky. Will Cyril also be Zelensky-fied?
We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
If you were to ask me, I would say my personal viewpoints in this meeting, Wednesday's meeting, is that, well, I think Cyril will be fine. I think he will be okay, but it's not going to be easy. Consider that now, lately, Trump is using a new strategy, or should I say, Trump has a new strategy now where he also uses journalists who are right aligned, journalists who will ask or throw questions to South Africans in favor of Trump. Now, Trump uses these journalists now as his sidekicks. As long as Cyril has got all that covered, I think he will be okay, but it's not going to be easy. My major concern in all this is when it comes to the issue of the genocide of white people in South Africa, which I believe, obviously, we all know is not true. But if you look at Trump lately, even after he spoke to Cyril about this very same issue of white farmers, Trump didn't budge at all. His mind is made up in as far as that issue of Afrikaners being persecuted in South Africa is concerned. His mind is made up. So obviously, our boys will try by all means to prove to Donald Trump that there is no such, there is no genocide in South Africa. But can you imagine what will be Donald Trump's response to that? Because obviously there is no genocide in South Africa, but my thinking, I think Donald Trump will start to dig into the issue of kill the boer, kill the farmer. Oops.
Let's first try and tackle what is going on right now. The statements from President Trump addressing reporters a short while ago, and he says that there is a genocide in South Africa against Afrikaner people. What would you say to President Trump?
Yes, good evening to you, sir. You're welcome to just call me Kali. Well, the fact is we don't use those terms, but there is a real problem. We have a situation in the country where the only category of crime that is called for publicly is, for instance, murders of farmers and Afrikaners with the kill the boer chant. We know that these people that have left the country have a legitimate concern that the South African Constitutional Court did not protect Afrikaners against this. We have the president not condemning these kind of chants.
So if we have noticed, guys, all the guys who whisper lies in Trump's ear, Donald Trump's ear, know very well that there is no genocide in South Africa. They know that very well. Guys like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, etc., etc. All these guys know that there is no genocide, there is no white persecution in South Africa. When you corner each one of them, they start gravitating towards kill the boer, kill the farmer. They know that there is no white genocide. Now, my fear is that same thing might happen in tomorrow's meeting between Cyril and Trump. That Trump will just dig in and come up with that. In my viewpoint, guys, out of all the ministers who accompany our president, which are Mr. Lamula, Minister of International Relations and Corporations, Ms. Nchabeni, the Minister in the Presidency, Mr. Tao, Minister of Trade, Industry Competition, Mr. Steenhuisen, Minister of Agriculture, and Mr. Jonas, a special envoy to the United States of America. Out of all those guys, I think John Steenhuisen is a very good card for me, especially when Cyril is tackling the issue of white genocide in South Africa.
I mean, the president is going to the US. I'm not sure if you will join him there, but what are the 2-3 things that you like the president to take to the US in terms of your own portfolio, the agricultural sector?
We have to avoid at all costs a 30% tariff. It'll make South African agricultural products absolutely unaffordable and uncompetitive in that market. So we would like to have the free access. I think it's also a very good opportunity for President Ramaphosa to be able to meet with his counterpart to dispel some of the myths and misinformation that have been whispered in his ear about South Africa. Things like a genocide. There's no genocide in South Africa. Things like mass expropriation without compensation. There's not a single farm that's been expropriated without compensation in South Africa. Yes, we have some issues with crime and criminality, but these affect all of our citizens in the same way. And so what we need to do is to make sure that when important trading partners like the US are making decisions around their outlook, their trade, their positioning, that they're making it based on the facts and not the fiction. And I think that's going to be very, very important. And then, of course, I want more market access for South African agricultural goods. Currently, we can only get citrus into the US from the Western Cape and I think it's Limpopo. It means that 85% of the rest of our citrus production doesn't have exposure. I'd like to change that.
I think there's a very strategic card that Cyril is playing there, which I'm very appreciative of. What do you think? Guys, I want you to listen to me very attentively. In my previous video, I did criticize the issue of kill the boer, kill the farmer. Well, I understand. I agree, guys. I agree that the Court of Law, the High Court, the Supreme Court of South Africa, of course, dismissed the case to say the song doesn't perpetrate any hate speech. That there's nothing wrong about singing the song. All right? as true as that might be, all right, but you must remember that on an international level, they're not going to accept that. They will look at that as well as just the government of the ANC trying to defend and perpetrate the killing of the white farmers. Because as much as, yes, the court, the Supreme Court said there's nothing wrong about the song, but geopolitically speaking, other countries out there won't look at this the same as us South Africans or as our government. They will look at this thing as just our government trying to defend black people and, of course, perpetrating black people to go ahead and kill white farmers. That's where my point lies. As fine as it is that the court said, no, there's nothing wrong with the song. Fine, I agree, there's nothing wrong with the song. But I still believe that in this day and age, we shouldn't be singing songs like Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer. Because these kind of songs, especially now that, of course, we've got international trades with other countries. Some investors will just look at the song and start saying, "Oh, look, who can waste this money and spend in a country that is anti-whites?" Some people out there, like the very same guys and Trump, powerhouses like the USA, they will start using that to perpetrate their own political narratives and their own political agenda. So my point is just there that, okay, fine, guys, the court said there's nothing wrong with the song. But geopolitically speaking, guys, the song is going to come back and bite us in the butt. And that's my fear for Wednesday's meeting between Trump and Cyril. Because obviously when Trump brings that card, Cyril will have to defend it by saying, our Supreme Court, okay, who's our? ANC, right? And Trump will say, so you expect all of us globally to trust you, ANC court, that you did a good call by throwing that case of Kill the Boer out of court? So you think globally then we'll just agree with you? Yeah. That's my problem and my fear of what might happen tomorrow. Imagine how media, fake media like this one.
You mean persecution, like when the whole government can go into a stadium and chant that they want to kill you?
Alliance shoot to kill Gamaza, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa, pa, brr, pa, pa.
Stadium full of black people who outnumber you, by the way. The population of the Bantu has exploded in South Africa, in part because the white farmers made it such an abundant land that could support such a population. But here they are chanting that they want to kill the white farmer, which is amazing because about 50% of the inhabitants of South Africa, all black, are on welfare, paid for by the whites. So here they are chanting blatantly that they want to kill the white farmer. They very specifically said that. The Boer is the white Afrikaner farmer. Oh, here we go. There we go. There's the statistics. Here is a black who clearly has got some European admixture in there. It's probably why he can read. He said, we need to unite as black people. There are less than 5 million white in South Africa versus 45 million of us. That's good. That's good. Good for you understanding larger and bigger numbers. We can kill all this white within 2 weeks. We have the army and the police. If those who are killing farmers can do it, what are you waiting for? Shoot the Boer, kill the farmer, excuse me.
Imagine how media like this one, how they are going to perpetrate this fake news and make us. Imagine the havoc they can cause to damage the South African global image when they get hold of that Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer song.
Let's end the conversation on MAGA America then. They seem to have a huge megaphone, and you have pointed out yourself that perhaps this is doing more damage than we are believing ourselves as South Africans, as you laid out earlier, the number of international media you were talking to, and why to them President Trump would be so insistent on a genocide that's going on here. How do we undo that? How do we take back the megaphone and use it to our advantage?
Well, yes, there's the whole thing of where there's smoke, there's fire. And of course, they see smoke, we don't see smoke, and there's certainly no fire. There's a lot wrong with us, but Afrikaner persecution is not one of them. I think we should live this down. I hope President Ramaphosa will be convincing. And I think one other easy step is we should all go and ask Julius Malema, please stop this nonsense. Please stop this populist nonsense by singing that song that is 40 years old and it's not appropriate anymore. You just give ammunition to our enemies.
So I also totally agree with Max Dupree when he says, going forward, I think we should stop singing songs like this, because really when we continue doing that, we are shooting ourselves in the foot. And imagine what does songs like that do to children, black or white. Black children too will be affected because they are going to school with these white kids in South Africa. We are a rainbow nation, remember? My daughter is in school with whites, Indian, colors. They don't see color. Now, when they hear this song, obviously they will be shocked. What is this? You see? And I repeat, guys, I understand the Supreme Court, I understand, but think in a global stage, the image, how does it taint our image as South Africans? What do you think? Let me hear your comment below. And of course, if you are coming for the first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.